All right, and we're live. Garrett, thank you for joining today.
Thank you for inviting me, Michael.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I would like to welcome everyone as well to the Ranking Stream podcast. And essentially, what we do is interview marketing pros. We're interviewing SEO specialists, tool builders, essentially anyone who's helping us discover the resources out there to save us time and money while we're executing our digital marketing, lead generation, SEO. And Garrett is exactly in that specific category, helping folks with lead generation and a bunch of other items and tricks and hacks. So we're definitely going to jump into it. Just really quickly, Garrett Jackson is the founder of Tracking Suite, and that's trackingsuite.io. And I'll post the link in the chat here just so everyone gets to see that. But Garrett, again, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. What part of the world or country are you calling from? Where are you right now? What time is it?
Oh, well, I'm originally from the U.S., but I'm living in Germany at the moment.
Oh, right on. Okay. All right. So what time is it over there right now?
It's about 4:20.
4:20. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Staying up a little later.
Yeah.
So what has you in Germany right now?
Oh, well, I have family here too, but I'm looking at moving back to the States. So, yeah, it's just
Okay.
I've been here for a while, a few years, and my wife is here, kids are here, but we're looking at going back home.
All right. Well, what do you like most about it out there? I have some family that lives out there. They've been trying to beg me to go. My cousin's husband, who's in the military, is based out there. So they've been trying to get me to go for like years. I just haven't pulled the trigger. But like, what's your favorite part about Germany?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the beer, the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very close to Switzerland, which is like the business hub of Europe. So that's what I like about it the most.
Amazing, man. And did your career kind of take you out there? I know you have a little bit of, obviously, you have a deep digital marketing background. I see that you were a SEO kind of manager before. You worked other, digital marketing spaces. Like, did your career kind of take you out there, or are you just kind of like a nomad digital marketer and you're able to basically work wherever you have internet connection?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. First of all, I like you really have a nice podcast voice, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
um, what I wanted to say was no, I actually came here with my wife. So I came here when I was really young, I was about 20,
Wow.
and I just got into marketing kind of after while I was in college and stuff, and yeah, I just realized, hey, I'm kind of actually good at this stuff. Well, I'm okay at it, and I just kind of took it from there. And it just evolved into me creating my own business. So I went self-employed here, and then approaching other businesses, and that's kind of how even Tracking Suite got started, was through approaching other businesses and stuff. So
Interesting. And are your clients German based, or are they US based, or is it kind of both? Or...
yeah, a majority are based in, I would say, Switzerland. I have a handful in Germany, but mostly Switzerland.
Amazing. Okay. So what about the language? Where do you speak multiple languages, or do you have writers or local content folks to help you with content production?
That's a great question. So I do speak German, but I don't sell in German. I approach in English also as well. But that just has to do with this fact that many of the people in the startup scene here are our age, and most of them speak English anyways, and they're looking to break out in the U.S. market. So for that part, you let me say it like this: you don't have to have the best German skills, although it's helpful
Amazing.
to do
Okay. Well,
business.
that's a huge opportunity. That's right. That's a huge opportunity for you, being that native English speaker in this that part of the world, and then having the ability to kind of tap into understand the U.S. market really well. So I can imagine that's super appetizing for folks out there
Yeah,
who want to tap into the U.S. Market and economy.
exactly.
So that's super fascinating. I'm curious to like how, or do you have a technical background as well in addition to your marketing background? How did you start out a Tracking Suite, and like are you a developer, or do you find someone to kind of help craft it? First of all, can you just tell people what it is? What is Tracking
Yeah,
Suite, and
sure,
where the
for
idea
sure.
come from?
I'll just tell the story real quick in a
Yes,
nutshell.
please.
So, to answer your first question, no, I have no developer background at all, zero. Uh, so that's why I had to hire people who do. And
As marketers do, I've done the same thing.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So how Tracking Suite come about was like I noticed that many of my potential clients who turned into full-time clients, they really liked that when I did outreach, I would record a short video showing what they can improve on their website. But for that, I had a bunch of plugins. Like I had the Google Tag Manager checker and this and that. And um, that's kind of how Tracking Suite came about, because I was like, yeah, I want to see all the technology at once. So I just make one click and can see everything that's marketing related. So that's how that developed, because I realized that this type of approach was working, because I used to do the whole mass mailing before and stuff, and it works just for certain niches. But these days, marketing agency is a very red ocean. So you have to stand out. Doesn't mean that there's not money there, but you just have to stand out in your approach. And people really like the personal approach. And Tracking Suite allows you to do a very personal approach super quick, right? And what's different with Tracking Suite, I guess you could say, compared to a quote unquote technology checker, is that Tracking Suite tells you what to do with the information, right? You have like great apps. You have Wapalizer. Have you heard of Wapalizer before, Michael?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't really
I'm
used
pretty
it.
sure
Yeah.
if you saw the logo, you
Okay.
would know.
Oh, yes,
Wapalizer
yes.
gives
Okay.
you like, yeah, it gives you like a list of like shows Google Tag Manager. They have React on there. They have Klarna or PayPal, etc. I was like, wow, that's great. But for people who want to scale their business, it doesn't tell you what to do with that information. And Tracking Suite is really built for people who have little to no marketing knowledge to be able to go out and already sell marketing packages. So what we did was we built an algorithm in there that just tells you, based on a light signal system, what package to offer that client. Now it only works for small to mid-size. Like when you start getting enterprise level, they have a whole different type of marketing metrics, right? Um, they don't just use Facebook and stuff. They use like affiliate networks. They have all sorts of crazy stuff. But it's great for your local small to mid-sized businesses. And if you're having a virtual assistant, you can just say, hey, listen, this Tracking Suite, this is a CRM. This is what you need to look for, and that's it. You can teach them how to start scaling your agency within 5 minutes. Really, that's it tops. And the key here is that we want to take attention away from doing mass email marketing and just focusing on doing individual audits very quickly, without them being time consuming. And that's what makes us different, I guess you could say, than a technology checker or anything like that. Is we tell you what to do with information. We're very niche based. We're based just on personal outreach. That's it. Yeah. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
All right. So are agencies using it to acquire new customers, or are they using it more for their clients as well, for their clients to acquire new customers, or is it just specific to like agency leads?
Yeah, it's another good question. So it's very specific just to uh, for agency leads, or for people who, yeah, our biggest clientele at the moment is small, self-employed, people that do this as a side hustle, and also small agencies from 1 to 10 people.
Interesting. Yeah, that's super fascinating, because I mean that's a huge like side of the market. We have a community of like SEO specialists and freelancers, side
Mhm.
hustlers, and the first question they ask, like, how do I get the customers?
Yeah,
How do I manage them? How they track them? And a lot of them aren't really equipped with the skills to like do that lead like acquisition, nurturing, and then closing and all that, all that good stuff. I mean, and some of the CRMs out there are super expensive and don't really make sense for that size of a business, for some of these
yeah, or they have a
consultants.
bunch of functions. They have like sequences and this and that, and which is
Yes.
good. Like I'm not here to knock anybody.
Right.
It's really, we just want to keep it simple. We're just responsible for getting you that first step in the door. So everything that has to do with these other CRMs, like you said, where they could be very complicated or this and that, that's not our focus. There's plenty of other people who are out there who do it better than us, and we're happy we let them have it. We're really just like, get your foot in the door. Here's how you show yourself you exist, and you do the rest of the sailing. You use your own calendar to book. Use your own sequence follow up, this and that. We're just getting your foot in the door.
Interesting. So can we walk through like a scenario of like,
Hmm.
I'm an SEO consultant. This is my side hustle. I'm jumping into it. I'm looking for some new customers for my SEO services. Do I have
Hmm.
to be specialized in just link building, or or can I just be a consultant with like kind of my general suite of services? and use your tool to kind of start prospecting, or how would I go about using the tool and finding my first customer?
That's another great question. So how you would go about it is Tracking Suite has a option for you to scan a website very quickly with a third-party integration we have called SEObility. And basically, you can do a quick free audit, and it'll show you on this audit what the page speed is, keywords that it's showing up for on the first page, et cetera, et cetera. So it gives you enough information to approach a client already and say, hey, look, this is what we can improve already. And so you don't need to have a depth of knowledge. You can, again, Tracking Suite is tailored to people with little to no marketing knowledge to use it, at least to do outreach. You don't need to be an expert. So that's the good part about it.
Interesting. I like that, and how it first conducts that audit and to give you some kind of ammunition to go into start a conversation with the potential client. Now, how is it different? Because some of my clients that I operate or I'll consult and I work with for SEO, I do their SEO services. They send me emails sometimes and they say, hey, I got this email from this person who's at this company saying that there are like 10 broken things on my website. And they're like, hey, how can I, how do we fix that? Or what is that, an oversight or something on mine? I'm just like, some of the data wasn't very accurate from some of those. Obviously, it's from these other services that are out there that are just kind of spamming and shooting, a bunch of shots. But how is the tool kind of maintain or look at that data integrity to make sure that the actual audits are in fact like things that could be, done and worked on for this potential prospect?
That's a good question, because I think that's also a question of perspective, in my personal opinion, right? Like there's SEO dudes who focus on extremely technical things that I personally don't feel are super important just yet, right? Like I personally have seen websites from the 90s that are still ranking in certain US states, like really AOL time websites, back at that time. So
Right.
it really depends on your perspective. You could use the data how you want. Like if you're really into the technical stuff, it's accurate, but it's all the perspective comes from the perspective of the person doing the SEO, if they feel like it's important or not. With our third-party partners, of course, you can really focus on page speed and most of our keyword rankings, which are super important. But again, it doesn't prevent anybody, of course, to make a panic sale or try to make a panic sale. Oh, hey, listen, what are some of those things? Your meta tags are not on there properly, or whatever. It's
Right.
That's sadly a part of the industry that I don't think is gonna evaporate overnight, unfortunately. But yeah, you can
Right.
still get your foot in the door. Let's say like this. Then these guys who shoot off emails all day, because all they do is focus on the email, right? They're just trying to panic people. It's like fishing in a pond.
Right.
They're just trying to fish. But if you use our reports and you send a screenshot and say, hey, listen, Dr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, I saw this could be fixed on your website. Did you know you were ranking for these specific keywords? It's going to make a huge difference in saying, oh my God, your website doesn't have this and that, this and that. Oh my
Right.
God, you're going to die.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. So by that, page speed is an important factor, and then keyword rankings obviously is an important factor. So those are typically the metrics that the tool uses to kind of start getting, building curiosity, getting the foot in the door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that's super fascinating. Yeah, page speed to me is, it's a pretty important metric, and I feel like it's a metric, one that is pretty validated because Google says that's important, and they have all these tools and resources that allow you to test your website to see what your score is. And then from the production side, like from the SEO service side, there's a lot of work. There's work that needs to be done, and that somebody needs to do. Like you're going to need to improve your page speed. Whether if you don't want to do it, then it's going to hurt your rankings. But if you do, it puts the consultant in a good position because there's work that needs to be done there. So, and I think like services like that, to me, they allow you to build early trust without a significant investment, right? So if they're fixing page speed, that means you got to maybe update some JavaScript files, minimize some content or some images, and maybe it's a plugin for a WordPress site. But I think even then, a customer is able to see that there's value and that there's a issue, and then there's a resolution. And I think there's trust being built for continuing services after that. At least that's what we found for some of ours. Sorry.
I just want to say you said the key word, trust, and
Yeah, right.
that's what these tools are for, us to help you build trust and build a great first impression to say, hey, listen, I'm a professional. This is what you can do. This is what you're going to prove. So you're absolutely right. I guess you could say it'll help people that have the same point of view as you do.
Right. Absolutely. And so when this consultant, this hypothetical consultant that we were talking about, if they're looking for prospecting in terms of like who they're going after, finding the emails, finding the right audience, how does a person have to think about that before they're using your tool? Do they have to find the emails already, or does your tool kind of help prospect on that side? What does that look
Yeah,
like?
that's a great question. So we do scrape the website for emails, but you have to do that manually. If you don't wish to, you can use our Hunter API um, as well to get those real personal emails, but that doesn't always work every time. The funny part is like with Hunter, sometimes it'll show no email, and with us, it'll at least show the info or contact at email. So I would say always use both. Um, and as far as leads, you can scrape as many leads as you want from Google and Bing Maps. Um, and also you can audit your own leads. So you can use, for example, LinkedIn. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that you can use Tracking Suite for the whole marketing funnel.
Hmm.
You scan a website, you do an SEO audit, then you see they have Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And if you don't just have to think email, you can think, hey, okay, I wrote out to him on email. Let me start a sequence. I'm going to hit him up on his Facebook page. Then I'm going to hit him up on his LinkedIn. Like it's about the whole outreach process, not just, hey, let me send this guy an email. Also, to be honest, from my side, what's got me the most revenue is picking up the phone. So it's about spending as much time as you can on each one of those leads. Not just email bombing them, but saying, okay, he didn't read my email, or he did. Let me reach out to him these other ways.
I'm so happy you mentioned the picking up the phone. I was gonna ask that, and I'm like, how do I tie this into the conversation? Okay? So you said you pick up the phone, right? Like I know that scares a lot of people, including myself. Not gonna lie. What's been different from picking up the phone versus like prospecting via email or social media? Like what? And I know people are afraid to pick up the phone and do that, but what's your experience? How did you get comfortable doing it? And what type of conversions or, do you see from picking up the phone versus like others?
I've had extremely high conversion rate picking up the phone, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know it's scary, but just think of it like this. What you can do is you're going to have to do it eventually. I think, me personally, just my personal opinion, what you can do is always send an email out, see if they read it. If they read it, try to go another avenue. But the best way is picking up the phone, in my opinion. And how you do that to get over this scared part, because I used to be scared, right? I used to get insulted and stuff like that. But the key is don't take it personal. And always imagine you're speaking through the voice of your company. They're not, if they curse you out, if they're angry at you, if they're in a bad mood, they're angry just at that moment. They're not angry at you personally. So don't take cold calling negativity personally. And another thing is the script. Now, there's a lot of guys on YouTube like, hey, listen, I usually say on the phone, hey, listen, this is a cold call. I'm going to be honest with you. Either you can choose to listen or you can hang up. And that worked wonders. Like I had really funny calls where I had told one guy, I said, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a cold call. And then he said, no, I want you to lie to me. And it's like, I asked him really funny. But most of the responses were positive as long as I let them know up front, like, hey, listen, this is a cold call. And then you can use Tracking Suite to say, hey, listen, you can use Tracking Suite to show, hey, there's no conversion tracking, which often happens with business owners. I noticed they're not tracking conversions. If they're, you want to help their SEO, but also, conversion tracking is a huge deal, whether it's organic or paid, right? So checking button conversions when they click buttons and stuff. And a lot of business owners don't know that they can enhance that better. If you call there being helpful, you'll be fine. And you're going to have to take the negativity sometimes. Just don't take it personal. You're talking through a phone. It's easier than door to door anyways. Door to door is difficult, you can take that personal. So it's just getting up and do it. Just do it. I promise. If you just do it a few times, you're going to become numb. You're going to become, you'll be able to take it. It'll be like any other day to you.
Amazing. That's great advice. I love the fact that you said it's like the company's voice. It's not your personal voice. You know, it's not you personally, but you're representing a business here, a company,
Yeah.
and that should be kind of like the approach, the lens that
Right.
people kind of see that through. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And so most of the your clients, your customers, you know, you mentioned they're going to be agencies,
Mhm.
you know, prospecting, what have you. So whenever do you do like a level of like onboarding for the tool at all, or is it specifically like whenever person? I saw you have a lot of videos on your website, so that
Yeah.
offers some level of training.
Yeah.
What's your approach there?
Yeah. I usually send them to the YouTube channel because I just want to get them on the software as soon as possible. So there's no like book a demo first. Nothing against those folks that do that, but there's no like book a demo first before you even get on. It's like just get on, use it, try it. Also it works as a good filter because I personally don't want people who just want to like mass email people, like just spam people, right? In the marketing service. I sometimes you have to do it in certain niches. I get that. It's not, but for marketing, it's just so oversaturated.
Yes.
So I try to filter out those guys if they hit me up and saying, yeah, so how can I download a whole list? I'm like, no. Or I send them the other way.
Yes.
um, yeah. But we do also, by the way, we have another software that I built called Email Popper. So you can build an email list with that. But that's, by the way, just real quick, if anybody buys Tracking Suite, you get Email Popper free access automatically. But
Very
um,
nice. Okay.
yeah, back to that, it works as a filter. So I just want to get people on, get started, and it's an easy learning curve. The issue that I've noticed, however, is that people don't know about all the features all the time. So that's something where I maybe should work a bit more on the onboarding process with to make sure they know, hey, this is everything you can do with it.
Yeah, that certainly comes with it, right? The territory in terms of the favorite features that people were actually excited about and building some content around that. So I'm sure that's going to come. So it's a Chrome extension, correct? I don't think I
That is
mentioned.
correct. Yeah, it's a Chrome
Okay.
extension, but it has
Mhm.
website based feature, for example, the CRM
Okay.
and everything. So yeah.
Interesting. Has that been a big source of your like just overall like awareness, customer acquisition for the tool itself? You know, with you know getting traffic from you know Google's marketplace, or do you do a lot of other advertising? Or is it word of mouth? Like how are your customers finding you?
That's a good question. I would say through the affiliate sites like AppSumo, what I spoke about with you before the call, and a
Hmm.
few other ones. I haven't spent money on ads yet. I need to get to that. Um, so yeah, right now it's just been word of mouth and stuff until I acquire a decent ad budget. I'm bootstrapping, so you know how that goes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's not bad if you haven't had to spend any ad dollars and you're getting some early customers. I mean, that's pretty solid. AppSumo seems to be a good resource for
Yeah,
that.
love
Um,
AppSumo.
Absolutely. And yeah, so same thing with us. I mean, we're definitely bootstrapped. We find a lot of whoops, sorry about that. I think I started one of your videos. Sorry, one second.
No problem.
Yeah, I was on your site. I was checking out one of the videos, so I'm pretty sure you heard your own voice.
Yeah, by the way, the website is going to be completely redone. So that's
Okay.
just
When is that expected to come into play?
hopefully this month we'll have a new website.
Very sweet.
Look that will look much better. But one thing I wanted to slip in there real quick as we were talking, because you were talking about outreach. A lot of people don't know this, but Tracking Suite has the option for you to send voice messages through Gmail. So for you guys who are still a
Interesting.
bit introverted but don't want to do the phone call thing, I
Right.
recommend sending out voice messages and then using snuff.io, their free email tracking feature on Gmail, to see if it's been open.
Interesting.
It's a
Okay.
great
Okay.
word on it.
All
Yeah.
right. So I haven't heard of that feature just yet, or done that through Gmail. So you could send, you said voicemails inside the email, is that right? Or
Yes,
like,
sir. You
okay,
can send voice messages through email. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Why haven't I received one of those? Like I've received a bunch of just like outreach emails, but none of them have. I've seen like people with like your name on it. They'll have like a poster or something, and they'll put like Michael, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which is nothing wrong. I don't know if that tactic works or not, but it's pretty interesting. But a voicemail, I'd be curious to hear something like that.
Yeah.
Let
You
me
can
see.
send up to 1 minute messages.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay. But your recommendation is still phone. I mean, let's be
Oh,
real.
yeah, and this is from somebody who does it, somebody who didn't want to do it in the beginning. I mean, it was exhausting at first, but it's really just a mental thing. It's just a
Right.
mentality. That's it. It's nothing. Nothing's gonna happen to you. They're not gonna choke you. They're not gonna. It's really just mental.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, Garrett, this is extremely helpful. Like I mentioned, you got lots of good videos on the site. And if somebody wants to download the app, where can they go? Can they get it directly from the site itself? Do they have to go to the Google Marketplace?
Yeah, so you just download it. You just go to the site, sign up for an account, and it's free anyways for 7 days. And then if you would like to buy it at a discounted price, hit me up, and I'll hook you up with emailpopper.io as well. So you get both softwares for a good price. And yeah, that's basically it. We're still working on new features to come. And like I said, it's just focused mostly on personal outreach. That is our focus. We're not there to be the next CRM, the next HubSpot, the next Salesforce, this and that. We're just focused on personalizing the outreach. That's it. If we would put it in a nutshell, or one circle would be personal outreach. So
Amazing, man. Well, hey, I usually ask my guests a couple of last questions really quickly, but this one in particular, it's if somebody's interested in getting into tool building or developing their own marketing tool, what advice would you give to them based on your experience building Tracking Suite?
it's a good question. I would say first learn how to code if you can. That's something I wish I could do because I would have saved a lot of cost. I also would say build a prototype and start testing it. Um, and listen to your intuition first before you listen to other people. Because if I would have listened to other people, I would have not built Tracking Suite in the first place. You got to find a good middle between. I don't want to be out of touch where I'm building something that's useless, but I also want to build something that nobody's heard of before use. That's why they can't tell me advice on. So you have to really. That's the hardest part is trying to find that middle on that. But once you find that, you'll be good.
Amazing, man. Well said. Well said. I could definitely relate to a lot of that, what you said as well. So, hey, if anyone wants to reach you or get in contact, where can they find you? Are you on social media or is it on the website? Can you give a shout out? Yeah.
Yeah, just hit me up on my LinkedIn, Garrett Jackson, and type in trackingsuite.io in the search for people thing. You'll find me. I'm easy to
Amazing.
find.
Right on, man. Well, Garrett, thank you again for coming on the stream. I definitely appreciate your time. The tool is pretty awesome. Looking forward to getting my hands dirty with it. And and I appreciate your time and thank you for joining.
Yeah, Michael, thank you for your time, and I really find it cool what you're doing here. I love the fact that you're giving us an opportunity to have a voice without paying thousands of dollars for it. So I really appreciate that, especially this format and everything. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. No problem. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate you. All right. See you, man. Have a good day.
You too, man. Thank you.